Good evening, my dear students. In continuation to the previous video which I done on interactive Korn shell, here I am with you to discuss about input and output statements within the Korn shell. So just recollect back previous 7 videos. I discussed about Korn shell futures. I discussed about 2 special files within the shell environment. So I discussed about variables. So within a variables, I discussed all the things: how to store a variable, how to store a value within a variable, how to access a variable. So how within a variable, how to store absolute path name. So all the things. So now, the next agenda here to discuss about output statements. So the output statements in Korn shell is a print command. So Korn shell also supports echo command. You try to remember at the beginning of the first class, I said echo command. So here echo command is used for print message on the terminal. So the echo command copies the argument back to your terminal, or right. So here the echo command is for printing a message on your terminal, whatever may be the message which we given as an argument for echo command. So it will be displayed within your terminal. So there you try to remember echo followed with options followed with argument. So echo followed with options followed with arguments, right? So if no option is given, directly your echo command will take an argument. So and then your message will be displayed. Take for example echo space hello world. If I say, so within my terminal I get hello world is displayed on the terminal, right? So this is about echo command, right? So echo command is used for print message. All right, we also call it as echo command is a print message command. So here you need to remember echo command copies its argument back on the terminal in the same manner. So your output statement print also works in the same manner. Here within the shell environment, so we use print command for the purpose of fastest displaying a message on the terminal. Alright, so here the syntax for print command is print followed with options followed with argument 1, so on. There can be n number of arguments. Alright, so here print followed with option followed with argument 1, argument 2, argument 3, argument 4. So whatever may be the number of arguments which we give within your print statement. So it takes an input. So immediately the message will be printed on your terminal. All right, so here go with some example. All right, just see here the print command how it works. Just I used a print within a quotation, print space within a quotation. It is now dollar time. All right, so dollar time, already this is a try to understand a dollar time. This is a variable which I have stored. The time is for 30 p.m. All right, so in this variable I stored the value for 30 p.m. So when I use a print output command followed with my argument, so the argument is given in a quotation, right? It is now dollar time. So within a variable time, what value is stored means 4:30 p.m. So that is what I get output for this, right? So take another example. So the same example. Here it can be used here. I just see here print in a different manner. Print it is now. I just given only this argument in quotation. So here at the end I used a variable, alright, $time. So here $time within a variable time, the value is 4:30 p.m. The value will be printed, right? So here print command directly it will print on the terminal. It is now followed with 4:30 p.m. right? So this is about print command. So here you try to remember the print command creates a file. So the print command creates a file in the standard output stream. Print command creates a file in the standard output. So here the standard output stream is our terminal. So our terminal is our standard output stream. So here after execution of print, so it need to print it is now. So this is a message to be printed on my terminal. So my standard output stream is screen from its argument, right? So the argument here is it is now. So these arguments are printed on my terminal. So here you need to remember the arguments can be a string or a variable, right? So here within the print, so I give an argument the string followed with a variable also. We embedded a variable as well as a string, right? So this is an example you need to remember for the output statement, right? So oftenly we are going to use all these particular output this output statement oftenly within your shell script. So there are some character codes for print. So already you might be practiced within the C language. So try to recollect /b, backspace, /c, new line, /f, form feed, /n, new line, /b, backspace, /r, carriage return. So all the things, /t for tab, /v, vertical tab. So all the things here, right? So you try to remember all the C character codes for print. We call it as C character codes. So those characters codes can be used within the shell environment whenever we are using a print statement, right, within your shell script. So whenever we are using print statement, within the print statement, so all these character codes can be used. /t, so /t for what reason means we call it as a tab. /v for what means vertical tab, followed with /b for what means backspace, /n, new line. Most oftenly we call it as /n, new line might be used within your shell script, right? So this thing you need to remember within within the output statement, right? So go with another topic, we call it as the input statement. Input statement. Here the input statements are meant for reading a data from a terminal or a file by using a command. We call it as read. So by using this particular command, by using this read command, read command, we are trying to read a data from a terminal or a file. Terminal here means we are going to read a data from a keyboard. We are going to read the data from a keyboard. So at the same time we can read the data from a file. So already file need to be created within your current directory. File need to be present. So when the file is there, we are going to give the file as an input for the read command. Alright, so we call it as standard input stream, standard input stream. Alright, so standard input redirection also. Alright, so this is the case, right? So the read command reads a line and stores these words in a variable. All this read command will read a line. It can read a word and store the entire line or a word within a variable. So variable can be declared within your shell script. So when a variable is declared, all right, so and then we can read a line or a word. So in each variable, every word is going to be stored. So when it must another important thing to be remembered, it must be terminated by returns. So after returning some value, right, so your read is going to be terminated and the input line must immediately follow the command, right? So take for example, so how the read command works, what is the syntax for read? So the read command followed with the options followed with variable 1, so on variable n. So there can be n number of variables. So here we are going to read all the variable values with the help of read. So the read can have options. So the options like -r, ignore a new line, -u, stream descriptor. -u for what means a stream descriptor. So like an example, so through a keyboard we are giving an input for a read command. So what input is given for a read command means now is the time. So this is a string. So this is a string which I am giving an input for a read. So here read will record now a word now in variable 1. So it will record variable 2 with is. It will record the string the in a variable 3. It will record time the word time in a variable 4. So like this. So there can be a 4 variables for this read statement here. So it will read within a first variable now, in a second variable is, in a third variable it will record the, in a fourth variable it will store a time. So this is an example for read. Alright, so this is an example for read. So and then other important terminology you need to remember. Your read command can read your read command can read word by word. So your read command can read word by word. So one word will be read, so and then it will read another word. When a read command is executed, it reads a line from a standard input. That reads a line from a standard input means we call it as a keyboard. We call it as a keyboard. So keyboard means we are giving an input from a keyboard. So here we can give input from a keyboard, or we can give input from a file. So when we are giving an input from a file, so we call it as a standard input redirection, standard input stream with the help of a file. All right. So and store its variable word variables with a word by word. All right. So the read command will reads a data from a keyboard or from a file word by word. The first word is stored in a first variable, and the second word is stored in a second variable, like this, so on. So this is a way how this will record. So this thing you need to remember, right? So and then take for example read word 1, word 2, word 3. All right. So the variable 1 first word, variable 2 in a second word, variable 3 in a third word, right? Here, so you can print what values are recorded in word 1, what values are recorded in word 2, what values are stored in word 3. right, by using a print. Print followed with a $word1. So word1, whatever may be the value which is stored in a word1, it will be displayed, right. Here what